It is Super Ty. I'm joined, as always, with my friend, Comic Book Brando. And we're going to talk about all the cool books that are coming out tomorrow, August 7th. There's a lot of really big issues coming out, so we'll get through them. We have some really cool announcements coming up at the end of the show, which is going to be the Labor Day sale announcements with all the cool deals we're going to be doing. So you're definitely going to want to stick around for that.
Can we talk all about it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's already been like made an event and stuff. Like,
oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to all the nitty gritty. But as usual, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to say to us, just say it in the comments right now. We'll answer it as quick as possible. So the one I'm gonna start off with has been a really crazy series by Tom Taylor and Trevor Hairsine, Deceased. This is Deceased number 4, and it kind of brings in the parable of if you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And if the entire world is being taken over by evil, flesh-eating people, well, what kind of hammer do you need to nail that down? So, very crazy story. There was one part in here that I showed Brandon, and we were just like, whoa, okay. I'm a huge fan of this. I'm a huge fan of Tom Taylor. He can do a lot of really cool alternate, continuity stories. That's what I was trying to say. Because he also did Injustice. Did you ever read Injustice?
Mm-hmm.
That was so good. So this is another one where, man, it just looks like not everybody's going to make it. And so far, a lot of people haven't, but it looks like nobody's going to make it. So definitely check this out. It's been really great.
What up, Ruben?
Ruben.
Hello, Wade.
Hey, hey.
My mom is watching. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
House of X number 2. Man, that first one was so good. And what was the next one?
Powers of 10.
10. That's right. This is the follow-up to that, and we learn more about the life of Moira McTaggart, who has always seemed like sort of a background character in the X-Men lore, and we're going to find out just how important she actually is. This book is absolutely crazy. Mind-blowing. I didn't even know what questions to ask Ty to see what he knew for fear of spoiling crazy things.
Yeah, this is one I'm going to be waiting on till tonight.
So insanely good, and sheds a little bit of light on a previous scene in the previous issue.
All right.
So good. I didn't even know I liked Moira McTaggart, but she's very vital to the X universe, and you get to see sort of like some interesting tangential relations that you've never even considered or thought about, and how certain powers can just change everything. So good. God, X-Men is awesome now.
My next one, I want to read it. My next one is Green Lantern number 10. So Grant Morrison's Green Lantern has been crazy. Every time I bring this up, it's true though. This involves an actual multiversal Green Lantern Corps, where it's not just Hal Jordan, but it's also the Green Lantern that was Bruce Wayne in Blackest Night, the Elseworlds, not the actual series. Abin Sur, who was in his Multiversity run, just a ton of different, a hippie one right there. So
hippie lantern.
Yeah, this pretty much just sets up that, hey, there's also this giant Green Lantern multiversal core going on that nobody else knows about, and Hal is now just finding out about it. So it's really interesting, and I love it when Grant Morrison picks up like characters that he just made up out of nowhere and makes it like, oh no, they were canon the entire time. Because I just read Multiversity over the weekend again, and I was like, oh yeah. So yeah, it's pretty nuts.
My mom says hi to us both.
Hey.
James says he loves Moira. You're gonna love her even more. She's so badass, I had no idea. Batman number 76, the second part of City of Bane. Heroes out of Gotham. Stay out. It's taken care of by a different Batman. Villains, you're going down. So basically Batman and Gotham Girl are hunting down villains with extreme prejudice. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne gets a visitor.
Oh, so which Batman is it that is with Gotham Girl?
Well, it's a certain... let's flash back a little bit and see what we can figure out. Awesome series. I love Tom King's, like, the beginning of every story arc just creates question marks. Like, how are they going to get out of this situation? This is bad news. A very powerful superhero shows up and just gets manhandled by Gotham. So, crazy stuff, really good. Very intrigued to see where Tom King is going with this. I believe this is probably like wrapping up his.
I think 85 is his last one.
Okay, so probably
I think. It's either 80 or 85.
Storyline before moving on to another series, but so good. And Batman is just a fascinating comic that is a true Batman type story, though. So it doesn't mess with the mythos; it builds on it.
My next one is Justice League number 29, Slaves of Starro. So Starro is one of my favorite characters because he's ridiculous.
Fact.
But this is actually more about Jarro. If you're not familiar with Jarro, Jarro is a tiny Starro that all he wants to do is be Batman's new Robin. And this is his story of saving the day. But is he really? Because, you know, if you're familiar with Starro's powers, it's all kind of mental stuff, so you're not 100% sure. But
very controlling.
this is leading to the Doom versus Justice War, which is the next issue. So battle plans are made. Jarro's running around in a Robin costume. It's great.
Nice. Immortal Hulk number 22. Look, we've got Hulk. We've got Harpy. Who's that? Very awesome stuff. We're going to see some of the ramifications of the previous issue that had deaths, chaos, a new abomination, crazy things happening. Some heroes are back already, some heroes not so much, and we've got some new information, and we're heading towards a huge face-off, maybe a literal face-off in the tradition of
Face-off.
awesome stuff. We get to see Joe Fixit take to the sun a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, crazy, weird take on a classic Hulk identity. Super fun, super good, and intense and dark, but also like not so dark that it's just weighs down on you. There's light moments as well.
Levity.
Some levity, a little. I mean, with any comic with Puck in it, can't be completely dead serious in it. That dude's funny.
I do like Puck.
Yes.
My next one is a new number 1 from Marvel. It's called Future Foundation. Jonathan Hickman's team of, you know, genius kids and Dragon Man, which is also a really great character I like a whole lot because he's also ridiculous. They are out in the world, out in the universe. They're just trying to find all the microscopic pieces of the Molecule Man because they were friends. But there's going to be a whole lot of stuff happening in between. This involves a jailbreak on an intergalactic, you know, prison planet, where you get to see a lot of I don't know, silly things, but also fun things. Yondu is in this as a guest speaker, which I thought was pretty funny. I really dug it. I thought it was really fun. The artist is Will Robson, and I started paying attention to him with the most recent Great Lakes Avengers book, and I really like his style. It's very like cartoony, but it does kind of like still solidify as a comic book, not just like, you know, Mickey Mouse cartoonery.
You classic Power Pack fans might be delighted to see Lightspeed join the team, along with her brother Alex Powers.
Julie Powers.
Yeah, I was the little preview of that was in like the previous Fantastic Four issue. I was like, oh, all right, Lightspeed's back.
Yeah.
Because I own every issue of Power Pack.
Do you?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
You are the second close friend of mine that has
Dave
told me
Justice
this.
is the other one. Yep.
Every issue of Power Pack.
We may have been working on a Power Pack gritty,
A little reboot.
sort of Vertigo-esque reboot a few years ago.
Remind me to tell you about my 2 ideas for reboots involving Husk from the X-Men and Slapstick.
Nice.
Yeah, they're both going to be dark.
I actually just found my notebook that had all my Power Pack notes.
Oh, yeah?
That book would not fly anymore. Doom Patrol, Weight of the Worlds, number 2. Man, this book is so crazy. This story is called Space Divorce, and that is exactly what's happening. However, Larry Trainor has some weird things going on in that there's a new development in his character. Larry Trainor gives birth.
Cool.
That's the kind of weird thing you're going to see in Doom Patrol, but what kind of thing does he give birth to? You would not believe it until you read it, and even then you're not going to believe it. Plus, Cliff
He's back?
Cliff is back.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are waiting for this one, and I can see why, because I just read it, and it was great. Absolute Carnage number 1. So, whoosh. imagine a nightmare is walking around and killing everybody that's ever been connected to that nightmare. That's the best way that I can put about this. Cletus Cassidy, he's back, sort of. And he is just out to get every single person that has ever even touched a symbiote that's like ever been covered with one. And Eddie Brock and Spider-Man are trying to figure out a way to stop them. But Cletus's first little stop on his little checklist is Norman Osborn, the most recent Red Goblin / Carnage. So, and it's a huge issue. It is super fat, filled with a lot of really crazy, kind of iconic horror moments.
This series is going to be reaching its tendrils into a lot of Spider-Man related comics, and even non-Spidey related comics.
Yeah.
So, if you're ready for a summer of slaughter, it starts here.
Yeah, I was very impressed with it. I'm going to be 100% honest. I was never a huge Carnage fan because I was like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, it reminds me of Adam the Extreme from X-Men. You know, it's just like, how
rough.
90s can you get?
That's pretty hard.
Oh, okay.
Carnage is cooler than Adam X the Extreme.
Well, everybody's better than Adam X the Extreme, but you know, it's just that '90s thing. But like reading this, I was like, oh, now I get it. He's terrifying.
Yeah,
it's not just like
he's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's not just like some wacky dude and a symbiote. Oh no, he is a monster. I loved it. I thought it was really great.
Awesome. Another Marvel hit from Donnie. Daredevil #9, an issue that starts off with a pleasant chess game between Matt Murdock and that's Reed Richards. And a very heavy conversation between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating stuff. Matt's just got through saving a crime family from a hit from the Owl. And this has put him in a very weird place. He doesn't know how to use the gifts he has if he thinks he should not be using it to be Daredevil. Fascinating read. Really digging Daredevil. Best it's been in a long time.
Oh, it's been great.
So good. Chip Zdarsky is just sort of blowing my mind in this book. There's so many like theological questions and philosophy, but also some pretty great action and potential romance.
Well, Daredevil, he's
dude is smooth, but I don't know.
He gets around.
He's treading in waters that he maybe shouldn't tread.
Oh,
so
like
really
he's
good.
never done that before.
I mean, he does that all the time.
Yeah,
but that always gets him beat up.
Electra.
I mean, that was the OG.
Yeah. My next one, these guys made a huge hit during the War of Realms. It's Agents of Atlas. This is by Greg Pak, but there's also a backup story by Jeff Parker, the guy who created Agents of Atlas from the original series. So it's basically all these Pan-Asian countries, all of their biggest superheroes are all on one team right now working for the Atlas Foundation. And somebody whose last name is Nguyen, but it's spelled Nguyen, Nguyen.
I think you mostly got that right.
Yes, I think so.
I think you forgot a Y.
Yeah, well, he has a company called Big Win Industries, and he basically figured out a way to shunt, would you like that, shunt? All the big major capitals of every Pan-Asian country into one giant city to bring back together,
That's a big city.
Yeah, it's going to be a big city, but why is he doing this? What's the point? And then, of course, dragons show up. The cool thing is if you're a fan of that old school Agents of Atlas, the second half of the book is a story about them, including Gorilla Man, Namora, M11 the human robot. So I was really happy. You get 2 stories in one here.
Oh, nice.
I hope it keeps going for the rest of the series because, love the original Agents of Atlas. I really dig this book, so check it out.
James also wants to see Nicolas Cage show up for the face-off. Chad says hello. Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Coffin Bound, #1 from Image. This is already becoming a hot book, so if you didn't pull this, you might be missing out on this printing of it. Awesome, crazy, weird, introspective, yet, what are the words I'm looking for? Just a desert noir,
Okay.
psychological, weird thriller.
Okay.
This girl wakes up in the desert. She's talking to a vulture. And not just any vulture, it's like a vulture skeleton on a human-like body.
Cool.
She survives a attempt on her life, so decides that if the world doesn't want her to live, she doesn't. The world doesn't get to have any of her. So she's going to go back and basically erase her life.
All right.
Super like,
I'm in.
yeah, like weird Quentin Tarantino philosophy. You know, cars, guns, violence, but introspection and strangeness. And there's an oracle and
Vulture dude.
a very, very uncomfortable gentleman's club scene.
Oh god.
Super good, super weird, very like everyone speaks like almost kind of like Oz, like the HBO show.
Oh, okay.
Where everyone is very loquacious and has a very sort of like, or even Deadwood has a very sort of a patter to them.
I gotcha.
It's very strange, but very cool.
Not a lot of circumlocution, I guess.
Sure. I don't know that one.
It means to talk around something.
Oh, I think there's a fair amount of that.
Oh, okay, then cool.
Check it out. It's really good. It's really strange. And if you're looking for something different, this is a good starting point.
My next one's a little sillier than that one, but I really enjoyed the first issue, and everybody else did because it sold out.
Did.
No One Left to Fight, number 2. So this is, if you want a story kind of like Dragon Ball Z, but you don't want to go back through 30 years worth of canon to get to everything, this is very much in that vein, where there's this guy named Vale, and he saved the world from a giant alien menace, and now he's got nobody to fight anymore. So what do you do with your life at that point? You know, like, do you just kind of, you know, chill out, eat too much? You hang out with your friends that may or may not used to be your enemies? I really dug this. It was really fun. It's very colorful. It's very cartoony, but you know, you see there's a lot of weird things going on in the background because the hero, Vale, he keeps on seeing alternate points of his life where things didn't actually happen the way they did. So is somebody messing with him from the great beyond? We're also got a lot of the first issue, second printings coming in. So if you never got to read it, now you'll get a chance to with this as well. So I liked it. It was really fun.
Christine says Coffin Bound sounds depressing but intriguing.
Yeah.
Not so depressing though. It's like she's kind of very accepting of like what her non-future is going to be. So
cool.
Pretty wild, pretty weird. Anthony's looking forward to Batman TMNT and DC.
Oh yeah, that's coming out too.
Yeah. That is one of the. You didn't talk about that one yet, did you?
No, I didn't grab it because I forgot it was.
Oh, I thought you were looking at that one. Well,
no, I did Deceased, not Batman
the
TMNT.
Batman TMNT.
Sorry.
But that's coming out too, so
yeah.
If we had more time, we would talk about it as well. Batman and Turtles. It's good stuff. Lois Lane, number 2. So she's working a case, but she's finding a lot of resistance to her investigative journalism. Plus, Superman's not the only one who can save a life here and there. Lois has got some badass chops too. So super cool. I really love Lois Lane. I've always loved her from her goofy, like early golden atomic age stuff to today. She's just just a fantastic counterpart to Superman. Supes is like the greatest, you know, whatever you like, the greatest hero of all time because he's just, you know, the best. But she's a very grounded woman, and she's like the perfect, like sort of like counter yin to his yang, if you will.
Don't take no guff.
Don't
that
take
Lois
no
Lane.
Guff. But she doesn't like rely solely on Superman. She's her own woman, and she's super badass to begin with. So this series has been cool, and Greg Rucka writes tough females better than almost anyone else I've ever read. So perfect person for this book. Does great sort of political spy-fi type stuff. So there you go.
My last single issue is the second issue of a series I also really liked called Sea of Stars. Dennis Hallam came in and did a signing for our first issue. You might remember him as Dennis Hopeless, but his real name's Dennis Hallam. The best way to describe this is The Road meets Finding Nemo. That's the best way I could put it. There's
Finding Nemo, of all things.
Well, that's what Dennis said, and it makes total sense.
That does make sense.
It's about a dad and a son. The dad's a space trucker. He calls his ship the Pork Chop Express, which I think is awesome.
Ace.
Yeah, Ace reference.
Yeah.
They get bitten in half by this giant space behemoth, and now they're both lost. And so the kid's having a really fun time, like Finding Nemo, and the dad's having The Road by Cormac McCarthy. So it really switches tone back and forth. Like the first issue was kind of lighthearted, you know, like kids having fun in space with a space whale and space monkey, and the dad's just like, I'm dying. So I'm really loving this book. Jason Aaron and Dennis Allen working on it together. It's been
That's a power team there.
yeah, it's a very cool power team. I'm very excited about this book.
This is a writing team up that is just, they bring a lot of oomph.
Yeah, papa.
Papa. Die number 6. I'm glad this series is back. I've missed it in the couple months it's been off on a break. But it's so good. It is, I'm gonna say it, my favorite Image book coming out right now. So when we last left our characters, they had to all decide to leave the world of Die if they wanted to get back to their real lives. Only a couple of them didn't actually really want to do that.
Yeah.
So there was a abrupt and quick change of fate. They split up, and now 4 of them are trying to get out of Glass City, which is basically being encroached on by the Europa or Prussian Empire. Cool fantasy stuff, a little sci-fi in there, but also like the melancholy of your 40s. I love this book so much. It's people who live too much in fantasy and just want to get out and can't, and they're stuck there. Plus, the guy who created the world is dead, but still talking to them. So, awesome, weird, fun, introspective. Again, my favorite book, Kieran Gillen, is just knocking it out of the park for me. If you've ever had any interest in sort of like role-playing games or even just like fantasy in general, this is the best of it.
My next one is Neil Gaiman and Colleen Doran's Snow Glass Apples. This is a wildly different take of the Snow White story, where the queen isn't actually that bad. She's, not great, but she's not bad. And Snow White herself is a gold-dang monster. Maybe a vampire, maybe a succubus, you're not really sure, but it is dark and not good for children at all. There's a lot of saucy moments happening in this.
Sauce?
Yes, saucy. It's Neil Gaiman. It's great. The artwork's really solid in here too. Let me try and find a safe page that I can show you.
I love Colleen Doran's artwork.
Yeah, so like just look at all this. It's so busy yet focused at the same time. I love that kind of stuff. Like just the stained glass window right there. You can see that she
I was
just
gonna say the art in general looks like a stained glass.
Yeah.
But there's actually a stained glass window.
and you have to like you can see that she is just sitting there like intricately planning it out. Very awesome.
Berserker Unbound, written by Jeff Lemire, drawn by Mike Deodato Jr. From Dark Horse, so it's not Conan, but the similarities are there. So he is the Mongrel King, a barbarian warlord who strikes off and fights throughout the kingdoms. Only he's returned to his village to find everything has been stripped from him. Everything he's ever cared about is gone. And this sends him spiraling into rage and fighting his attackers when he feels like he should just give up. Something very dramatic happens, and you can probably guess what that is from the cover, because those are cars and this is a city. Super awesome. Lemire, I mean, he can write this kind of character, and I'm a big fan of Conan, so I was really excited to see what this would be like, and it is awesome. If you like Conan at all, if you've been enjoying the new issues from Marvel, you should probably pick up Berserker Unbound and Dark Horse, because he's just as badass and very cool. And I mean, we all love a Conan in modern world story, and this is exactly what that is without being tied into, other characters like Wolverine and what have you. Super stoked about this. Deodato is just the perfect guy to draw this book, so check it out.
Crom?
Brom?
Daryl?
Daryl.
My next one is a book for the kiddos. This is Lumberjane's Unicorn Power, which one day I hope to be bestowed with some unicorn power.
Yeah.
This is written by Mariko Tamaki and illustrated by Brooklyn Allen. This is actually more of a, prose novel. It does have some illustrations happening in it. This is about, the Lumberjanes, let me just read off the name of the camp. Miss Quinzella Thishwick's Pinnacle Thistle Crumpets Camp for Hardcore Lady Types. So the 5 scouts from the Roanoke, cabin, which is the main characters of Lumberjanes, they're out to go on another adventure in the woods, and things don't really work out the way it was planned. So they have to, use their smarts, use their courage, but also they run into some unicorns, of course, because unicorn power. If you're a big fan of any of the Lumberjanes, or if you want to get, that niece that you just don't know really what to get them, but you want to give them something like awesome and female empowering, Lumberjanes.
Sinestro, The Year of the Villain. I believe this is a one-shot special,
It
right?
is.
So it's a done-in-one story, and you get to see sort of his tie-in with what's going on with The Year of the Villain. He is sent on a quest to kill gods, to stop a threat that is of just immense power. And although he was once the greatest Green Lantern, he's got some character flaws that might prevent him to be able to take on such a big assignment. Sinestro's always been like a really cool villain, has the weird sort of sympathy about him because he thought he was doing right, but he wasn't really. He was just a little bit too forceful. Plus, he's had some good and bad moments in recent years, so
Yeah.
a little bit back and forth. But that mustache, he's always going to be a villain with that mustache. Sorry, dude. Super fun stuff. DC's Year of the Villain continues, and it's been crazy just seeing like a lot of these villainous characters just kind of like really get one up on their respective heroes, or even just ignore the heroes and do massive, make big money moves of their own. So check that out.
I was always thinking about being Sinestro for Halloween because I got the same like Widow's Peak that he does.
So it'll sort of accentuate it a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. My last book is The Walking Dead number 32. This is the last volume. It's called Rest in Peace. So, as everybody was surprised that the story ended, I was surprised at how fast this book came out. Has every issue involved. Let me see which one issues are involved here. It's all the way up to 193. 187 through 193. So this involves, all the contention with the, big city that has happened. There's contention with each other. It's rough, but actually has a nice kind of sweet ending to it. As sweet as you can get out of it, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, it's over. Here you go. This is the last one for all you trade waiters.
All right. How did you get ahead of me?
I don't know.
Ryuko, volume 1. So this is a manga release as part of the Hard Case Crime run from Titan Comics, which is sort of like comic book versions of the very popular pulp-esque Hard Case Crime prose novels. I've really liked a lot of these books. They have like a very kind of gritty feel to them. They get into some intense sort of crime noir situations you're not going to see in regular comics. This one is kind of done up like the best 70s manga. I don't know if it's actually reprinting a 70s manga or if it's just done in that style because I'm not too familiar with the story, but it's guns, cars, fast, dangerous women, and a strong female lead. And that is exactly the kind of manga I read. So if you love Lady Snowblood, Lone Wolf and Cub, if you're into like any of the sort of 70s Captain Harlock, Devilman stuff, this will be one to check out. We got a lot of these because I think this is looking really cool and I'm eager to check it out.
Cool.
And Spirits of the Dead. I don't know how you jumped.
I think you had one more than me.
Oh, maybe. So this is a Richard Corbin adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's story. I didn't get a chance to look at it much, but I love Richard Corbin's artwork. He is my favorite non-Mike Mignola artist on Hellboy. I love all his old sort of underground Fanagore stuff, and just a huge fan of his art in general. The guy draws undead better than almost anyone else I've ever met. Bernie Wrightson aside.
Yeah.
So yes, I love Richard Corbin's artwork, and I'm eager to see him take on the heavy, moody horror of Edgar Allan Poe.
And his artwork is like very textural. Like
Yes.
it like always looks like you can just feel everything that's in there. That's what I like about him, is he gives you that extra sense to it.
All his people are very
Like kind of exaggerated, but
yes.
not.
You can see them. So they get their personality just from seeing their face.
Okay, so let's talk about the Labor Day sale. I'm going to pull up the details because my phone was off too long. Okay.
Lots of deets.
Here's the deets. Austin Books and Comics. Bear in mind, this is going to be from August 30th,
Friday.
from open to close, all the way to September 2nd, till
Monday.
closed.
4 days.
4 days. So this is what's going to be happening. Austin Books, half off back issues that are $20 or less. So all of our back issues in the back issue section, half off, yo. Toys, 20% off.
All toys?
All the toys that are in the toy cage, not statues, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah, like all the toys that are in the toy cage, half off.
Does that
Or
include
20% off. What?
the toys on that wall to our right?
No. It's just the toys in the toy cage.
Even though there's some of those on the toy cage?
Yes, I think so. We'll work this out.
We'll talk more details later.
Trade paperbacks, graphic novels, and manga are all going to be 25% off, and posters are 20% off.
It's all trades in manga?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just doing like a back and forth.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you're making me second guess myself.
I'm not trying to make you second.
Okay. Guzu, we're going to have 25% to 40% off specially marked items, including blind boxes, art prints, action figures, and more. Magazines are buy 3, get 1 for free. There's going to be a half off table, and there's going to be a huge selection of discounted X Plus Godzilla figures from the warehouse. So if you're getting that Godzilla itch, going to be
Those
getting
are nice figures too.
yeah. Then over at Outlaw Moon, we're going to have lots of specially priced games and toys added to the sidewalk sale, which I'll be getting into in a second.
Rather than specially marking them, I'm just gonna move them out.
Yeah. The Double Your Saloon Club discount. So this is during the Labor Day weekend. So if you have ever been a part of our saloon club, you get double the discount that you have right now. So if you are a law dog,
So let me. The lowest level discount is 5%. So the lowest you're getting 10%.
correct.
There's also a chance to get 20%, 30%, up to 40% off any game in the store.
Now, what if they're not a member of the saloon club?
So if you're not a member, just sign up and you'll get 10% off, and then whatever you're buying is applied to your discount level. Your discount is based on how much you've spent in the past 365 days. So if you're buying stuff every day, then you're going to have a bigger and bigger discount the more you buy.
Yes, and that's very cool.
Yeah.
Last thing is, we are sort of bringing back Sidekick. We're doing a sidewalk Sidekick sale.
The sort of sidekick sidewalk sale.
Yes, so that's going to be half off of trade paperbacks, graphic novels, and manga that we're going to be taking out there. That we usually used to just move over to the Sidekick. Now we're just moving it out there. Highly discounted toys and statues. Half off t-shirts that we take out there, and whatever stuff Brad sends from the warehouse.
And again, I'm going to send a bunch of games over there. We're going to send a bunch of toys from some vintage toys over from Outlaw Moon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, we talked about like the walls.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just like, Dinobots.
I ain't sending no Dinobots over, but I'm sending lots of cool, weird stuff, awesome toys that you would love to add to your collection for a little bit cheaper.
Nice. What do you got going on?
Not a whole lot. We got Magic drafting on Fridays.
Cool.
So we've been doing that consistently for the past few weeks. Getting those cool promo packs out there for the winners and having a lot of fun with that. Saturdays, it's our tabletop game night. We tried a game that I've been wanting to try really badly for a long time. It's called Euphoria.
Cool.
Build a better dystopia. So you're in a dystopian society and you're trying to either help it or maybe just kind of help it along.
All right.
Super good, a lot of cool choices. It's a resource management game, which I usually hate, but this one was a lot of fun because you never get frozen out of whatever you want to do.
Okay. You get to be a vengeful god. Cool.
I mean, you're actually just like a middle manager.
That's what I'm taking from it. I have a show at Skull Mechanics Brewery this Saturday at 11. I'm playing with some cool bands. One band's called Wake Party. The other one's called My Mistress. And they do this really fun thing of like, when you're asked what you did last night or who you hung out with, what do you say? My mistress.
I went to see My Mistress.
Yeah, they're a really fun band. But yeah, that's going to be at Skull Mechanics Brewery. If you like beer, they do really great beers over there and have a lot of cool music. And that's pretty much all I got going on this week.
Right on.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I think that's the majority of it. I'm still grading some pretty crazy comics. For anyone that doesn't know, who I haven't bragged to in the past week, we bought Wonder Woman #1.
Like the Wonder
The
Woman.
Wonder
#1.
Woman #1. It's in low grade. It's pretty awesome. If you want to take a look at it, ask me when you're in this week, and I will show it to you.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. That's history, yo. Well, you can follow me at Super Ty Denton 1. You can follow you at
Comic Book Brandon.
You can follow both of us at Awesome Books, and we will see you tomorrow.
Sister Melissa says, hi, I miss you, brother.
Oh,
Hello, Melissa.
that's cool, Melissa. You know, I'm just here, whatever.
You just give me a call. This is Ty. This is my buddy.
Hey. Okay. Catch everybody later. See you tomorrow morning.